in this style with the bridle. That is so important for myself and other people that ride in this style, is to have that right there. And so it's just, we're just talking about a balance. We're just talking about this. That's so important right there. And then if I need my shoulders to move on a cow, it's already up. If I've mastered the weight shift, if my horse comes like this, he's on that teeter, then I just make right or left and the shoulders go. Versus head, leg, head, leg. It works. It works, of course. It's just different style. So let's just be fair. There's different ways to do it, and I'm just simply just sharing my method. Yeah. So, and then you figure out the different styles, different ways, and put together something for yourself. Like, and then I put this together for myself. Works for me. And but that's so important. You got that. But you'll see these people riding in the spade bit with the head down. Like, can we all agree that a spade bit gets the horse through this? It's up. It's here. The way that spade is designed, right? It's not to make this. But you'll see it, and those horses are broke at C3 instead of having the pole at the top. So that's pretty important. And it comes up through here. You enjoy your bath. Right here, this muscle right here is responsible for lateral flexion. Okay, so if you just take this here, see, a lot of tension right there. And then he comes this way. Naturally, he'll come this way. That's right. That's right. Because this, it's like a lever, right? Just you pull on that, he makes it to the left. And then when you put those together, it makes vertical. But see, his head has to come up first a little bit, because in order for him to get bridled up, he has to shift the weight he has to be on the hind quarter. There you go. Right there, somewhere. It's okay, I don't have to I could stop early. Somewhere in there was nice, see? So he's searching. So first he comes up, then he goes deep. He goes, oh, that's where I should be. Then he comes up, and then if you average that out, where the horse would want to be the most comfortable would be just so. He'd just have a little tuck, but it wouldn't be anything extreme. And then you'd leave that free. And on our cow horses, ranch or cutting, I'm sure, competition or not, you want that head free. You want that swing, and you want them dancing. But they can't dance if you've made a rule for them, okay? Can't dance as easily. The head comes up first. That's what I was trying to make with the reins. So because the weight must first transfer here. Once it's transferred, once you've made the deposit into the bank, once it's transferred, the weight comes to here. He loads the hocks. In the next moment is when the head comes. But how many people do the head first? Okay. So you just change, and you can change this in 10 seconds for yourself. It's just think about mastering the weight shift. Hey, shift your weight back a little bit. Come back. And if you're on a cow, that's good. If he's like, you can feel when he's on his shoulder, you go, oh, this is not going to be a good turn. This is not going to be a good turn, and it's not. And so if you can, hey, shift back a little bit. And he can keep his head where his head is, but just say shift back a little bit. But then maybe he takes a step, or maybe he just goes like that, and he loads the hog, right? See? No. He says, yeah, but I thought I was supposed to lower my head. You go, no, you're supposed to shift your weight back. Then you can take a step, or not. Head up. See him bridle? See him bridle? Nope, I'm just feeling that. That's a good example. Those muscles are pushing on me. So I come in there like that, and the muscles, they're pushing against my finger. And then when they push against me, that's when he makes this, and he does, or well, if they're pushing on me, that's when he goes low, or he goes high, but he goes up here like this really fast, okay? And so when those muscles are finally relaxed, then you get and I just ease off, yeah. And really, I don't have to, different perspective, I don't have to release because the muscles are just soft. It's just like this. You ever had a horse just really pulling on your hands and you just make this? You go, pull on my hands then, but I'm not giving. And then they're like this, and then all of a sudden they might back up 100 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden they stop and they, and you look at the reins, and there's a float in them. So that's where it's fair. So am I pulling on the, what's that? Self-release. Yeah, self-release, there you go, yep. Because the reins are slack, he just didn't know it. The reins would be like this, and he's pulling, he's making this, and bumping himself, and then when he, and then I say, see, who's pulling on who? I'm not pulling on you, you're pulling on me. So anyway, so there's that. But you get this, so all I'm doing here is just operating, I'm hitting the override switch. I'm finding that's the button that you push, but lo and behold, isn't that, I'm not making it so special, but isn't that where your reins go? This was sort of what I think about. It's where your reins go. But I'm just barely touching that. That's okay though. This is fine. It's not. He's not sore or anything. It doesn't mean that he's. This is good that he's moving. Some horses don't move at all. They're pretty locked up. There you go. Right there. So I'll show you this demonstration on what the horse needs to do with its hind end in order to maneuver for you. Okay. You could call it muscle release.
Okay.
Yeah, muscle release.
That means, before
I'm feeling for tension, for resistance, and then I override that. And this came out. Shiatsu. Shiatsu. Okay. So when I was making this, when I was on him, we were walking, and then I said, "Hey, shift your weight back." And when I lifted up here, and that resistance I felt, where I told you it felt, to me anyway, it might not feel like that to somebody else, but for me, it felt like he was pushing, he was loading the front end like this. It felt like that to me. And so that resistance that I was feeling has to do with this, his posture here, and then this. So you could literally, I'm not saying he's sore and lame, that's not what I'm saying. But hell, we all wake up in the morning with a little something, right? We're just living beings, so sometimes it gets a little tight. So he has a little bit of tension through here. So if you can work this tension out, even by scratching him, I mean, gosh darn, just anything, then he'll do everything better, right? But you got to be careful that you're not making, that the tension wasn't caused by how you're making your hands. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. That's something that for each rider to figure out for themselves, okay? So what we'll do here is we're going to ask this hip to move, extension and collection. So let me see, I get it started here. Just get it started. And I'm feeling for any resistance. Now I want it to move, but I don't want it to go. I don't want to see that. I want to see hydrostatic. I want to see that. Okay. There. Extension, collection. It's okay. A lot of times you'll do this and it'll really scare the horse. Because remember, this is the override switch. If you guys ever take hips to the inside, haunches in a little bit, that's this. But if they're locked up or if they're sore, they'll get really angry here. I've had them just squeal, wee, and squeal out, and I'd have them kick out behind. Okay, so you should get the movement. So far, so good, it's okay. We'll work that tension out right there. So I'll go shiatsu, which is just a steady pressure in one area. And then I'll hold that. And then while I'm holding it, I'm looking at the other muscle groups and they're fluttering. So I'm holding right here, but he's pushing up right here. So I'll make a connection there. And that's light. I'm not pushing hard. And it looks like it's not doing anything, but that's the shiatsu, this Japanese thumb pressure, that's what it does. So it releases the tension by holding. Okay. me get on this side so I can show you what it would look like from here. Also, guys, look, remember that exercise, shoulders right, shoulders left? Remember that exercise? Okay, that's this. That's just that ability to take the weight off that foot. And right there, oh, but see him step into it? There, that's better. Okay, so it's all related, okay? But that shoulder exercise, man, that's good for him. Just don't go extreme flexion on it, and don't use your leg. If you have to use your leg a little bit to get it started, that's okay. Do what you have to do, but then go to just that rein, and that rein's just here. It's like you're picking up that shoulder here, you're just lifting it up like the hair. And then shoulders left, and then shoulders right. That'll really free them up. It's good for their health. Extension. And he had problem with extension, right? I'd like to see him. So if this is my horse, I'd long trot him more. I'd get him moving out. I'd get those feet just reaching. The better he extends, the better he'll collect. Goes together. But you cannot collect something easily if it's not extended first, right? Because there's nothing there to take. If you want to shorten something a lot, you want to have a lot of collection, you have to have a lot, it has to be extended this far so you can take it back in. But if it's only out this far, you only get this much. There, see it roll? Not chiropractic. I'm not licensed for that. It's not chiropractic. It's the muscles.